Good morning, Aurora Republic citizens. This is Foghorn back for another installment of our Beginning at Basics series. This is number 4, and I'm going to be talking today about OBS Studio, which is a wonderful little bit of open source freeware, audio-visual recording and streaming software that can run in the background. It's very lightweight as far as resources go for your computer, and the reason that the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we'd ultimately like probably everybody who would like to participate to be recording their side of the action so that we can collect all of that raw footage and kludge it together into, edit it into recruiting videos and training videos and all of that sort of thing. Basically everybody recording their side of the action. Which would be, we think would be very cool and give us a lot of source to pull from if you would like to participate. So let's get started very quickly here. All right, first, where to get it from? You can just go on to any search engine, hit OBS Studio. As you can see, I already have it preloaded, which will take you to this. OBS stands for Open Broadcaster Software. That's what the OBS stands for. So it takes you to their website there with that cool little logo, the icon with the little three-bladed prop in it. You hit download, choose your OS, and of course it'll download an installer, which I have already installed, as you can obviously guess because you're hearing me talk to you, because that's what I'm using to record. So I don't need to do that. There it is once it's installed, and it will bring up an interface like so. All right, so you'll start off, and I'm going to talk to you about 4 basic parts right here: settings, sources, scenes, and profiles. And I will start off by actually saving a new profile. Profile is basically a grand global save point of your entire setup. So I'm actually going to create a new one. We're going to call it Demo, if I can type. And there you go. So now we have a new profile. Obviously, I have many other profiles. I have the one I use for Star Citizen if I'm going to actually record what we're doing. I got another one now for the Twitch stream that we have for whenever I'm going to do training, literally live training online with folks, so I can stream my desktop on Twitch, and I'll show you how to set that up. Okay, so this actually starts off with, I'm actually going to kind of go in a little bit of reverse order with settings first. Here's the 7 different settings areas that you can start with. You can set a theme if you like. Most of what sets as default is going to be good to go for you. There's one thing, maybe 2, that absolutely need to be changed. The first is on output, and that is down here where it says FLV. The default recording format is FLV, which most folks probably don't have a capability without going and spending a lot of money on a bunch of expensive software to be able to manipulate or even run .FLV formats, unless you're sort of a professional in the industry. So like Bill has stuff that can handle that thing. Most of the rest of us home gamers can't. So the best idea is I'm going to pretty much highly suggest, on the borderline of demand, that you switch that to like MP4. MP4 is very ubiquitous. Everybody can manipulate it, use it, and without having to spend a whole bunch of money. You can also choose your recording quality, which will also affect, of course, the file size. I typically run high quality, medium file size. You can also set your recording path. That's a fairly typical one right there. Everything else I pretty much leave alone. If you are going to stream, and this is not mandatory, but if you decide that you're going to set yourself up with some sort of a streaming service, you can hit this pull down and choose which service you're going to use. This switch right here for show all services is how populated this is. This is like the most popular, and if you want to see absolutely all that are out there because you're using one that's a little not the average, then you can find there. If you're going to stream, you will have to go to your streaming service and get a stream key, plug that long thing in there, and then when you hit start streaming, OBS will automatically through the internet click into your streaming service and start pumping out signal. So there you go. Everything else, pretty much the defaults are pretty much good the way they are. Double check your resolution to make sure it's like I'm using an ultra wide display here, so I'm going to kick this up to 2560 by 1080 because I think it defaults to Base canvas resolution defaults to HD, and your scaled is scaled down for streaming if you don't have great internet and everything. You can also check what FPS values you want to limit this thing to. So I'm going to say, screw it, you're going to do 60 whether you like it or not. You can set hotkeys. There's only one that's auto set. I would suggest if you want to have a hotkey, a start and stop streaming or a start and stop recording are good hotkeys to set. You might want a mute key on and off, or just push to mute or push to talk. Depending on how you want to do that, I would not suggest a push to talk. I typically use a push to mute just in case I have to cough. I can just mash that real quick, cough, and then get back to work. Everything else pretty much sets just fine. So from the default. Okay, sources. So like I said, I'm going kind of backwards. Sources are anything that is recordable that OBS can capture. That can be, if I'm going to add a source here, that can be audio input capture, like the microphone I'm using right now. If it doesn't already exist in the pull down, then I can go to create new. You're probably going to hear my voice double, I think, here right now. And then it'll open up a dialog for whatever the capture source is. And of that type of capture source, it will have a pull down for whatever devices are actually attached to your computer. So I have two microphones. I'm on my headset right now. I also have a desktop microphone that's sitting out in front of me that I use under certain circumstances, but not always. So I'm just going to cancel out of there. Oh, it added it anyway. Okay, so I'm going to kill that so that you guys aren't listening to my voice double the whole time. Okay. You have output capture, so like what audio output, which is coming out to the speakers. So there's an existing one there, the desktop audio, which you see defaults into the mixer. So now that I have that, okay, let me put this over here. I could, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. So if I'm playing music or something that'd be coming out my speakers, desktop audio is where you capture that, such as the band Seatbelts playing Tank, also known as the theme song to Cowboy Bebop. And you can mix that down in here as well.
I think it's time.
Okay, so there you go. So you can set up multiple things. So say game capture, believe it or not, does not seem to work with Star Citizen. There's something about Star Citizen that makes this game capture function not work. So the way you end up having to do it, you have to make sure you get audio output so that you get the sounds, and display capture, which will get the display. Oh my God, recursion. It's like we're falling. Okay, so recursion. There you go. Display capture. I'm also going to throw something else in here to talk about the idea of layering. So I'm going to also go in here and I'm going to find a, let's go to OBS Studio and I'll throw the standby screen in there, just an image. Boink, I'm going to throw that in there. So you'll notice that they have these red drag points and things where you can rescale, resize. The same thing if I go to display capture, it as well can rescale and resize. So you can actually collage your visual inputs on here however you want. The order that things are in down here is a layer diagram as well, and we'll let you know what's in front of what. So image is above display capture, so you see the image, the standby screen image is above my display screen image, and if I hit that and tell it to go in front, it comes in front. And I can tell it, no, go behind, no, go in front, no, go behind. So that's how, so this order does matter a little bit, particularly for the video elements. It does a little bit for audio. So if I had a mic in there as well, you know, do you want the mic on top of the desktop audio or the audio on top of the desktop mic? With audio, you actually can mix volumes down in here. Every single audio input will add in another slider bar here. So there you go. So here we are, and we have an entire setup for one set of screens, or one scene. This is a group of sources that you set up in a group and layered however you want, is saved as a scene. You can have multiple scenes, so I could have a set of audio visual captures that are looking at the newscaster desk, and I could have a completely separate set of sources that are looking over at the weather girl and her green screen, and I could call those two different things, so I can just click between the two. So let's call another scene. It'll be scene 2, It's black. Let me put something in there. Let me put a different image. Let me put an image of a, let's go Star Citizen, let's go, I'll put an 890 jump. All right, boink, just because I have, yeah, okay, boink, super huge, way too big for the size of the screen, so I'm going to scale it down and keep scaling it down. There, just so you can see that, okay, this is the 890 jump, boink. And so there's scene 1, and there's scene 2. And there's scene 1, and with one click I can switch between a group of sources known as scenes. This entire setup of settings, sources, scenes, all of that saves as a profile. So you could have different profiles for I'm gameplay, I'm teaching academics as a different profile, or I'm doing a demo like I am now, and I have different profiles for all of that sort of stuff. And as you can see there, that's it in a nutshell. Very quick and easy. I hope it was easy. Most of the rest of the stuff you can just sort of play with. Look at the help. It has pretty good help on the website and all that. I've used it a lot. It's not that hard. And as you can see, there's the real one that I was running in the background where I'm actually recording. So with that, I'm going to play us out to the cool sounds. And I'm going to mix that down so it's hopefully just quiet in the background. All right, my friends, that's it as fast as I could talk. 11 minutes, almost 12 minutes on how to run OBS in a very quick format. If you have any questions, I'm always available. And as always, you guys have yourselves a pleasant rest of your morning, afternoon, and or evening.